You know what? I think it's about high time we see if we can't get a little throatier noise out of the exhaust of this Wolverine X4. So one of the nicest features about the Wolverine X4 is how quiet the machine is, and it is absolutely wonderful to be able to cruise down the trail, be able to talk with your passengers, and not worry about scaring off any wildlife you might be out to see. However, if you are like me, and I'm guessing quite a few of you are, then you're someone who likes to have a little bit of a deep throaty rumble coming out of the exhaust of your machine. And unfortunately for the stock muffler, throaty exhaust note and X4 just don't go hand in hand.
And this is kind of the same feeling I had towards my Pioneer 500 exhaust when I got it. As you can hear, the stock exhaust doesn't sound that appealing. So I did a little mod in which we pretty much just cut off the factory tip that was super small, drilled it out, kind of got a little bit here, installed an aftermarket four-wheeler tip, and what that did was gave us a bigger opening for the exhaust to go out, and it gave us a lot nicer sounding exhaust note. It just was a bit involved.
But luckily we don't have to go through all that hassle, as Hunterworks has come out with, I believe, the very first exhaust tip for the Wolverine X4. Now this exhaust tip comes with everything you need to install, including a spark arrestor screen so you can run this tip and still be legal to run on all your state trails. Brand new bolts and an Allen wrench for installing. And just in case you don't have internet access to watch this awesome install I'm about to do, they also send you just some quick little simple instructions to follow. But as you guys are going to see, there really is nothing to installing this tip. So before I go and throw the tip on there, I think what we're going to do is take the good old decibel meter. We're going to get a reading of how loud the stock exhaust with the stock tailpipe is. So that way we can see how much louder we get, if we get louder at all, or if we just get a 30er tune with the bigger exhaust tip. So while I start it up here, let's go ahead and get a reading of the inside, if I can get the camera to focus, and I'm going to be quiet. Ambient noise right around 58. Let's give her a start. So around 93 for the idle. And that's from inside the cab. Let's see what we got here at the tailpipe. So we're right around 115, 116 decibels, and that's right up at the tailpipe. And then let's see, back here a couple feet away, we are at right around 90. I also want to compare the decibel readings when we're cruising, say around 30 miles an hour. So I'm going to set my decibel meter to max and see where we're at when we're about 30. I'm going to hold the decibel meter down low here so I'm not picking up a bunch of wind noise. So there I hit 34 as the top speed on that little run, and our max decibel reading was 106. So let's head back to the Hillbilly Garage and I will show you how simple and easy it is to throw this exhaust tip on. So all we got to do to remove this exhaust tip is first make sure she's not hot. You don't want to do this right after running, but as you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these 8mm bolts. We're just going to put the wrench on and go around and take them out. Alright, we're down here to the last bolt. So as you will see here, there is a gasket that's going to get reused with the tip, so we don't want to lose that. And by now you guys may have also noticed that I did have 2 bolts break on me. That's always going to be a risk whenever you're working on exhaust like this, with the heating and cooling. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these out. Hopefully when you guys go to install yours, you will be able to get the factory tip off without this happening. It just creates an extra step because you're going to have to drill these out, possibly retap them. But such is life, and such is working on your own machines. Alright guys, we got the Hunterworks exhaust tip all installed here. Now, as you probably noticed by now, I have different bolts than what they supplied. And that's because of them 2 bolts that broke off. I actually had to end up drilling the holes bigger, retapping those for new bolts. And so my OCD wouldn't let me mix match bolts, so I went ahead and just did that with all. I drilled them all, retapped them all, and so used my own bolts. That is often the case, what you run into when you're replacing an exhaust tip, especially if you've already owned a machine for a year or 2. Your bolts are going to rust, and with the exhaust, like I mentioned earlier, with it heating up and then cooling down, then heating up and then cooling down, usually, if you've ever replaced an exhaust tip before, you know you usually snap bolts. Yeah, that's nothing against the Hunterworks tip. That's just what you're going to run into taking the factory tip off. So, if you're going to put an exhaust tip on, I recommend doing it shortly after buying your machine, or else you're probably going to have to deal with this. But again, it's no big deal. You might get lucky. Shoot them up with PB Blast a day or so before you end up taking them out. Or be prepared to re-drill and tap new holes and install new bolts, or even get self-tapping bolts. If you get some self-tapping bolts, you could probably just drill them right in the old holes as well once you have them drilled out, and you'll be good to go. So now that we got this guy installed, let's go see how she sounds and take some new decibel readings. Alright, so we got the exhaust tip installed, so let's see what our decibel readings are first. Let's start here on the inside cab on startup. And I don't know if you guys can hear this or not, but my father-in-law is running the planer. My microphone's liable to pick that up. But let's check our ambient noise real quick. Good boy. So ambient noise is right around 59. So we're right around 92 in cab at idle. I can't remember what it was with the stock. I'll put that up on the screen right here for you guys. So again, we're going to take here Rally tailgate, Yamaha quality. Oh. I will take right at the tailpipe and then back a couple feet. Back a couple feet, which is where most test. Right around 69 or 89, right around 89, 90. Yeah. So if my memory serves me correctly, that is not any louder than the stock. But I tell you what, it sounds a lot throatier anyway. Let's get the in cab at acceleration and 30 miles an hour. Here we go. So again, I can't remember the number on the stock exhaust, but I'm thinking it wasn't any quieter or much. There isn't much difference there. So again, I'll put the numbers up between the two right here, here somewhere, here, or here, maybe here, here.
There.
Okay, right there. Well guys, I don't know about you, but I am liking the way this sounds now. Just changing that tip out, opening that exhaust a little bit more, made it, gave it a lot deeper, throatier sound, just like it did with the 500. And I think this thing sounds pretty mean now too. What do you think, Dan?
Oh yeah, it sounds great.
We've actually done quite a bit of riding with the tip already on before I got to filming the rest of this. So you guys have probably actually got a little glimpse of her here and there and some shots of the long travel testing on the 500. But I think she sounds pretty mean now, and for all the more it costs, it's definitely an exhaust upgrade worth doing. So I'll put a link to the Hunterworks exhaust tip in my description below for you guys, so you can check that out if you're interested. Again, thanks for supporting me, whether it's by buying my merchandise, supporting me through Patreon, or buying from my Amazon influencers page. Your guys' support helps ensure that I continue to bring videos like this for your guys' enjoyment and your entertainment. So we're going to do some more cruising in this guy just to hear that sweet, sweet exhaust note. So until next time, have fun, be safe, and keep on riding.